Hey guys, it's Hannah, and long time no see. So it's been like over 2 weeks since I filmed a video, which is the longest I have ever gone without uploading a video. So that's partially because I was on vacation for a week, so I was gone for a whole week and I didn't have my computer with me. And then I just kind of wasn't really feeling it. I was kind of sick. I really wasn't in the mood for reading and I was just tired, so I kind of took a social media break and it was really nice, but I am back now and very excited to be here. So in my last video, I announced that I was going to be doing a Q&A and that I was hosting a giveaway in honor of hitting 10,000 subscribers, which is just amazing. So I am doing that today. I am filming my Q&A, and then at the very end of this video, I'm going to be announcing the 2 winners of that giveaway. And if you're just here to figure out if you're one of the giveaway winners and you don't really want to watch the Q&A, that's totally fine. You can just skip to the end of this video where I announce the 2 winners. But the first part of this video is just going to be me answering all of your questions that you left, and so many of you guys left questions. Actually, a lot more people entered the giveaway and left me questions than I was even anticipating, so it took me a lot longer to like sort through everything and like pick out some questions. So that's also partially why this video is kind of delayed. I am so grateful to every single one of you. Thank you all so much for entering and for leaving me questions, but I am unfortunately not going to be able to get to every single question, so I just narrowed the questions down to the ones that I saw that were most frequently asked. So without any further ado, let's get into all of the questions. Okay, so one of the most frequently asked questions was how I came up with my channel name, and if you didn't know this about me, I am in love with the Infernal Devices series. So that's Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare, and that's partially how I got the name. I just took like the clockwork and then added reader onto the end. But I also drew inspiration for the name from the fact that like I read like clockwork, so like I read around the clock. I don't know. It's kind of dumb and cheesy, but you know, I like the name and it works. Lots of people also asked some Hamilton questions, so I'm just gonna group those together. But one of the most asked questions was what my favorite Hamilton song is, and I don't really have a favorite. Well, okay, that's a lie. It kind of tends to change based on my mood, but generally I answer Satisfied because I'm just so obsessed with that song. But if I'm just like feeling really sad and I just really want to listen to It's Quiet Uptown on repeat, that becomes my favorite one. Sometimes it's Burn, sometimes it's Non-Stop, sometimes it's Wait For It. Like it just really depends. But for the most part, my favorite song is Satisfied. Another musical related question was what are some of my favorite musicals besides Hamilton? And my favorite musical of all time, I don't know if it's this one or Hamilton yet, I still haven't fully decided, but it is Phantom of the Opera. I am obsessed with that musical. I listen to it all the time. It's so great. A couple of other ones I also really like are Wicked. That one's fantastic, and I love Heathers. That one is so funny. I recently watched it and it's so good. A couple that I really want to watch would be Rent and Kinky Boots and Spring Awakening, because I haven't seen any of those yet and I've heard that they're all really fantastic and I really want to see them. So hopefully I will end up watching those soon. But yeah, those are a few of my other favorite musicals and some of the ones that I want to watch. But Hamilton right now is kind of just my everything. So another question that a lot of people asked me was what book got me into reading? That's kind of a hard question for me to answer because I loved reading ever since I was really young and I was super into it then. But then like in late elementary school to early middle school, I kind of resented reading because of required reading for school and I just hated it for some reason until 7th grade when all of my friends were like, Hannah, you have to read this book. And they handed me Twilight. So I read Twilight and I became obsessed. So basically Twilight is the book that got me back into reading, and ever since I read Twilight, it made me want to read everything else. I read The Mortal Instruments and The Hunger Games and Divergent and all of those books because I read Twilight. So I owe a lot to that series, but it's ironic because now I hate that book. So yeah, it's weird, it's complicated. I was so obsessed with those books though, so yeah, they're definitely the ones that got me back into reading. Another question I got a lot of was what was my favorite childhood book? If you're going with like early childhood, when I was really, really young, it was probably Oh, the Things You Can Think by Dr. Seuss, because I was obsessed with that book and I think I read it like every single night. But if we're going with my later childhood, then it was probably the Harry Potter series, hands down, or the Mortal Instruments series really, because I was obsessed with those first. So Yeah, in my early middle school days, after Twilight, after I got over all of that, The Mortal Instruments were basically like my favorite childhood book. Another question that a lot of people asked was if I annotate my books, and this is kind of hard for me to answer because the answer is yes and no. It just really depends on the book. I've mentioned this before, but I really like keeping all of my books in like pristine condition, so I don't like to write in them or do anything to them. But if I have an arc of a book or if I have multiple copies of a book, I definitely write in it. I highlight, I put sticky notes, I dog-ear the pages, I do like whatever I want to it because I know that I have another copy of the book that can just like stay perfect looking. So I definitely do, because I really enjoy it actually. It helps me focus all of my thoughts. It helps me go back and look at things that I thought while I was reading. It's really, really nice. I enjoy it. But when I have other books that I don't have multiple copies of, like I said, I don't annotate those. So again, it's yes and no. Oh, a lot of people asked me about my Ilvermorny and my Hogwarts houses. So I am a Gryffindor, and then I recently took the Ilvermorny quiz like 2 weeks ago whenever it came out, and I am a Wampus, and that is the one that's like a cat or like a Sphinx. So yeah, those are my 2 houses. But let me know in the comments down below what your 2 houses are, because I want to know if there's anyone else out there who is a Gryffindor and a Wampus, because most of the Gryffindors I've seen got Thunderbird. So they're Gryffindors and Thunderbirds. I haven't seen many Gryffindors and Wampuses, or Wampi. I don't even know what the plural of that would be. Another question that was frequently asked was if I want to write a book, and I've answered this actually I think like 3 or 4 times before, but no, I do not. I am not a writer. Sometimes I write poetry, but that's very, very rare for me. But no, I am not a creative writer. It's not something I see myself doing in the future. So no plans for me to ever write a book. And the last question that was very frequently asked was if I could give some booktube advice, just advice to people who want to start a booktube channel or people who are new to the community. So I personally don't feel like I am very qualified to answer this question. I have been making videos for almost a year now, like this month it'll be a year, but I still feel like I'm very new to the community. I am just also still learning the ropes around here. So if you just started and you feel like you're super new and you don't know what you're doing, that's okay. Even people like me who have been making videos for almost a year now still feel like we're new to the community, so you're definitely not alone. But if I were to give any sort of advice, and I know that this sounds really, really cliche and like everyone says this, but it's because it is the best advice, just truly love what you're doing and enjoy the content that you're creating. I could stand up here and tell you to do more tag videos or make the videos that everyone else is making or read some of the most popular books on Booktube, but really that will probably get you more subscribers, I'm not gonna lie, but if you don't enjoy those things, you're not going to enjoy yourself in the community, and in my opinion at least, that's the whole point of being here. So if you don't like the popular stuff, don't make it. If you do like the popular stuff, make it. Just make whatever makes you happy and just get involved in the community in any sort of way that you can and in any sort of way that you're comfortable with and that you enjoy. If you like readathons, do more readathons. If you really like some tag video, do that tag video. If you read a lot of the same books as this one booktuber who you've been watching, comment on their video and talk to them about it, and they'll probably respond to you. If you want to make the most popular videos that other people are making, like wrap-ups and tags and hauls and all of those things, then do those. If you enjoy that, do those. If you have really creative ideas for something that's totally new and you've never seen before, make that. I think genuinely the best way to become successful, if that's the word that we're going to use for it, or to at least enjoy yourself in this community and to be part of the community, is just to create the stuff that you want to create and you want to see. Like, I will say from my experience, hands down, some of my favorite videos that I've ever made have been like my discussion on strong female characters as a trope, my Avatar: The Last Airbender book tag, my bookish lookbook, because those were just some of the videos that I really had a lot to say about, or I was just feeling really creative and it was just something that I really loved, and I put what I really loved into what I was making, and I really ended up loving the outcome of them. But yeah, that would just be my advice. I could make a whole video on how to start a booktube channel, but so many people have already done that, and even though I have different things to say than them, I feel like My best advice would just be this: just be yourself, like what you're doing, make what you like, and make what you want to see, and people will come and watch your videos because everyone is always looking for new booktubers to watch. I know that I am, I know that a lot of my friends always are, and as long as you like what you're doing perfectly fine. Alright guys, so that is it for all of the questions in the Q&A, and now we are going to get to the 2 giveaway winners. So the 2 winners of the giveaway are Oodles of Books and Jenny's Book. So congratulations to the 2 of you. I will be messaging the 2 of you and you guys can tell me which book you would like to choose and I will send it your way. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you guys so much for entering and leaving me all these wonderful questions. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in my next video. Bye!